Welcome to the deep dive. So for today, we've pulled together a source stack that, on the surface, it looks like just complete chaos.
It's an unusual collection, that's for sure.
We are literally synthesizing reports on global data governance alongside strategies for seduction and high-stakes legal documents.
Yeah, we're spanning this huge distance from AI algorithms routing city buses in Boston all the way to the psychological demands of manufactured celebrity status.
But the mission behind it all is actually razor sharp. We're trying to extract the universal principles that underpin maximizing your impact.
Right.
Whether you're building a smart city or, a personal brand, success seems to hinge on two things: undeniable, factual clarity, and really intentional self-presentation.
And we're really framing this deep dive around the central conflict. Humanity is always pursuing this kind of rational, predictable clarity, but the world is just inherently chaotic.
You see that tension everywhere.
Everywhere. Whether it's trying to optimize external systems like data and government or managing these internal systems, things like status, ambition, and desire.
So for you, the listener, I think the big question is this: how do you maximize your impact when facts are absolutely essential for success, yet so much of the world seems to reward performance, facade, and, manufactured visibility?
Okay, let's unpack that.
Let's do it.
So let's start at the macro level. The external world of data and strategy, we are seeing this incredible acceleration of digital statecraft. It's a huge global shift.
A profound one.
If you look at the 2020 UN e-government survey, you had 57 countries hit the very high Government Development Index, the GDI score.
And GDI, just to be clear, that's the big measure of a country's readiness and capacity to deliver digital services, right?
Exactly. And that number is so crucial because it represents a staggering 43% increase from just 2018. So this isn't just moving services online. This is a total redesign of governance. The state is moving from being this passive administrator to what places like Singapore call an active data-driven participant.
And the goal, obviously, is efficiency. But the sources we looked at give such, visceral examples of what that data-driven clarity actually looks like on the ground.
It translates to huge efficiency gains. Take traffic management in Hangzhou, China. They deployed AI algorithms that analyze video feeds, adjust traffic signals in real time.
And the result?
An 11% increase in average traffic speed, citywide. That's a massive productivity boost that comes entirely from data clarity.
Or that incredible example from Boston Public Schools, routing school buses, right? It used to take staff 4 weeks to do it by hand.
4 grueling weeks. Then they brought in an MIT quantum algorithm, and the task was solved in 30 minutes.
30 minutes. Right. And that clarity of decision-making let them cut 50 buses from the fleet, which reduced their CO2 emissions by 20,000 pounds every single day.
The impact is just so measurable and immediate.
That's it. That data-driven clarity is currency.
But here's the key policy gap that our sources really stress. Infrastructure is it's outpacing the regulation.
Okay, so what does that mean?
Well, we saw 80% of countries had open government data, or OGD, portals in 2020. That's up from just 24% in 2014. So the data is out there.
So the portals are there, but are the rules?
That's the problem. Only 114 of those 153 countries had an official, dedicated OGD policy in place. The tech is fast, the data is available, but the governing framework, the clarity on how you can use that data, is missing.
Which is fascinating because it forces you to think about the potential for systemic bias or failure when the state becomes this predictive force, but the ethical rulebook hasn't even been written yet.
Precisely. And this need for surgical factual clarity, it scales down perfectly to the individual level, especially when you have high stakes and need maximum impact, like, say, contacting an attorney.
Right. The number one piece of advice in the legal sources was just cut through the noise. Don't write a memoir. Don't try to interpret the law for them. The goal is just to get the core high-impact facts across immediately, so you secure that follow-up. The lawyer isn't assessing your emotion, they're assessing viability.
So you skip the excessive formality. You skip arguing the law. You stick to clear, powerful facts that show the financial or human severity of the case right away. The winning approach they cited was just so minimal.
What was it?
It was, they are using photographs of us to sell their goods without our consent. They are earning millions of dollars a year of sales with these ads.
That's it. Clear transaction, clear injury, clear damages.
And that kind of factual detail is often the difference between success and failure in medical cases. Our sources deep detail this crucial oversight in a case of necrotizing fasciitis.
The flesh-eating bacteria.
Right. The initial doctor dismissed the symptoms, even though the patient presented with pain out of proportion to the visible injury.
And that phrase right there, pain out of proportion, that is the specific factual disconnect. That should have triggered alarm bells. It's a failure to anchor the diagnosis in the physical facts.
Exactly. And if your first pitch to a lawyer is murky, you might miss the window completely. The deadlines are absolute. The sources even mentioned a specific New Mexico statute of limitations deadline, January 5, 2026.
So data-driven efficiency demands factual clarity, and legal strategy demands it just as fiercely.
And this relentless pursuit of clarity, it brings us to this ultimate philosophical challenge: prediction. We use clarity to try and predict and control outcomes, but we have to confront the idea of determinism, which is, represented by Laplace's demon.
The demon, the theoretical intelligence that knows the state of every particle in the universe, and so it can predict every future moment. The universe has a perfect clock.
But then our sources introduce the wall that all modern scientists hit: chaos theory, the butterfly effect, and critically, something called computational irreducibility.
Okay, what's that?
It states that for many complex processes, like, say, simulating a chemical reaction or a global climate model, the most efficient way to know the outcome is simply to run the simulation.
So there's no shortcut, no magic algorithm that can just give you the answer instantly. The complexity itself is the burial.
Exactly. So even if the universe is theoretically deterministic, it remains fundamentally unpredictable to any observer inside it, which raises a huge question. If prediction is practically impossible, what framework do we anchor to?
And the answer, if we go way back, is Aristotle.
He required these clear, self-evident first principles. The core one being the principle of non-contradiction, that A is A. That unshakable logic is the necessary anchor against conceptual chaos.
Whether you're building a smart city or a legal strategy.
Exactly.
Okay, let's transition from those objective facts to the much more slippery realm of human perception and performance. We've established clarity as currency, but here's where it gets really interesting. The clash between official status and genuine, indispensable competence.
And we can start with the classic almighty janitor trope. This is the person who holds the ultimate institutional knowledge, not despite their low status, but because of it.
Right. They see the entire system from the ground up. They see the real operational flaws, while management is, stuck looking at sanitized reports in the penthouse.
That separation from formal power gives them clearer insight. And the sources have these incredible human stories to back this up.
Like Bill Crawford.
Bill Crawford, exactly. The janitor at the U.S. Air Force Academy, secretly a Medal of Honor recipient, had single-handedly taken out 3 German machine gun nests decades earlier and just kept it completely private. He separated his rank from his competence.
Or in fiction, the janitor in the video game Control, his name literally translates from Finnish to man of the house. He's the true guardian, operating completely outside the chain of command.
It just proves that the deepest understanding of a system often lies with those who reject the pursuit of official rank. It speaks volumes, doesn't it?
It really does. But then you pivot to the modern era, and we see the complete inverse. A culture where visibility often supersedes skill. Status is built on this hyper-visible, manufactured performance.
And the mental health fallout from that is significant. Our sources cite data that, 24.4% of adolescents meet the criteria for social media addiction. The whole system rewards instant, viral performance, not slow, brick-by-brick competence.
Which drives things like Snapchat dysmorphia.
Right, where people are getting cosmetic surgery to look like they're filtered selfies, and then they're disappointed when real surgery can't meet that, unrealistic algorithm set standard.
And this hunt for viral status has fatal real-world consequences. Dangerous status games like the Blackout Challenge have been linked to deaths, or the Kia Challenge, which turned felony auto theft into viral content.
I saw that. At the height of that trend, Kia and Hyundai made up 66% of all stolen cars in Milwaukee. It's status driving this incredibly dangerous illegal behavior.
And the pressure to maintain the professional facade is relentless. I mean, look at the disaster around the Revolve Festival, where influencers who had a genuinely awful, chaotic time felt they had to post positive content.
They had to lie to protect their status and avoid being blacklisted by the brand. The immediate, miserable reality had to be bent to protect the long-term clarity of their professional image.
Now contrast that forced deception with intentional self-presentation, where the facade is the clarity. The sources use Lana Del Rey's brand strategy as a case study. The transformation of Lizzie Grant.
Her success is a masterclass in this. First, controlled controversy. She positioned herself as a polarizing mythic figure, focused on tension, beauty versus decay, innocence versus danger.
So while critics accused her of glamorizing toxicity, that polarization is what defined her. It made her unique, not just another commodity.
Then there's Mystique. She maintained distance and scarcity. She's not doing the typical influencer circuit, so every new revelation feels like you're discovering a rare gem.
And the final piece is just consistency.
Total consistency. That dedication to the melancholic persona, built brick by brick over 14 years. The brand endures because she used clarity, a deliberate identity, and presented it with unyielding force.
Okay, let's apply this lens of intentional clarity now to the internal world, to attraction and desire.
Well, evolutionary psychology suggests that while physical looks might signal short-term fitness, the key long-term fitness indicators are intelligence and kindness.
Why those two?
Intelligence signals resourcefulness, the ability to navigate a complex world, and kindness signals trustworthiness and resource sharing. They're the deep structural competencies, not the surface-level status indicators.
So the intentional dating tactics, they focus on projecting that underlying competence and confidence. The concept of charisma, for example. It relies on targeted attention, giving someone your full focus, making them feel like the only person in the room, and warm confidence.
And that warm confidence is the critical clarity. It's the mindset of, I like you, but I don't need you. It eliminates desperation, which is the ultimate deterrent.
Desperation signals that need for external validation. It shows instability.
And some of the tactics we saw even draw from the intelligence community. Our sources noted that when you're approaching someone you're attracted to, using parallel conversation is really effective.
What's that?
You talk to someone next to them, or you ask a non-threatening question like, where is the restroom?
Why does that work?
Because you avoid giving the target instant dominance. You approach the interaction in this non-threatening way, which lowers their threat assessment and stops them from going into a defensive, critical state.
It all comes back to that core anti-desperation principle. Seeking a woman's approval is a major deterrent.
Right. The sources say women often obsess over men who treat them with a bit of emotional distance, because that distance awakens fantasy and curiosity. It overrides the simple clarity of just being available.
Now, if we shift that to personal success and achieving goals, the manifestation techniques we looked at rely on the exact same radical specificity, extreme clarity.
So this isn't just, I want a nice house. This is knowing the exact chandelier you want for the dream house. Your vision board has the exact color of the handbag and the actual website link to buy it.
Why is that level of detail so necessary?
Because it forces you to define the path. Vague goals lead to vague actions. But that precise, specific clarity, it helps the reticular activating system in your brain filter your environment. You start spotting opportunities that align with that chandelier, with that exact handbag.
And that kind of clarity, it requires boldness. The sources say you must openly declare your wants. A strong aura makes your goals real to everyone around you.
And they reinforce the idea that the golden rule works. Being kind creates a social world where people want to give you things. As one source put it, it brings back gold to you tenfold.
But getting there requires this extreme grit. You have to survive tall poppy syndrome, that cultural desire to cut down people who are succeeding.
You have to push past that initial resistance until you get proof of concept. It's called the winner's effect. That first win makes the next ones easier, because your brain and the world now recognize your competence.
But not all clarity is empowering. Sometimes it just defines the transaction. We looked at the sugar dating scenario.
Right. It's a relationship built on this very explicit financial exchange for time or companionship. And because of that, the motivations are always ambiguous.
The transactional clarity creates an emotional murkiness.
Exactly. One person in our sources said she could never know whether the guy actually likes me or likes me just because I'm pretty. The financial part creates a permanent ambiguity that undermines any real emotional clarity.
And that transactional image puts immense pressure on maintaining the facade. The sugar babies are investing heavily in cosmetic procedures, lip fillers, boob jobs, to stay competitive, to maintain the illusion of this perfect, baggage-free life.
But the ultimate failure of rational clarity comes from the power of internal fantasy. The example of the Danish deception guy scam is just deeply insightful. The victim, she maintained the scammer's story despite constant red flags.
Constant red flags, back surgery, tax debts, family arguments.
And she excused all of it. Why? Because the scammer fit a specific white prince fantasy she had built up. She actively prioritized the fantasy over the facts in front of her.
So it wasn't that she was naive.
The sources noted that observers often label this as self-hating, not naive, because she forgave behavior him she would never forgive in a normal person. The irony is just so stark. Rational data defines the success of government, but a personal fantasy can cause a total collapse of rationality.
So we've seen today how objective facts dictate external success, everything from legal cases to government efficiency, while this intentional clarity dictates internal success, like attraction and brand resilience.
And whether you're maximizing efficiency with an algorithm or building a brand like Lana Del Rey, or just communicating high-stakes facts to an attorney, success hinges on identifying what is truly essential, that first principle, and then presenting it with maximum undeniable force, that intentional focus. That's the highest form of efficiency.
We began by talking about the limits of clarity-chaos theory, computational irreducibility, which tells us the future is inherently unpredictable. We focus today on the human drive for clear, robust frameworks to try and manage that chaos. So if the future is inherently unpredictable, what core, non-negotiable principle like Aristotle's non-contradiction, or a clear personal goal you're unwilling to compromise, what are you going to use as your anchor against the inevitable chaos? Something to mull over until our next deep dive.